Mark Ruffalo and John Cena both issued apologies recently. And I usually view apologies as a sign of strength and growth. I don't like to look at apologies as a weakness. These apologies, I'm looking at them a little bit differently because I don't know if they're authentic. And that's where I'm going to go with this. I know this topic has been talked about by many people. My takeaway is probably going to be different than most. Mark Ruffalo, if you don't know what happened, I'm searching it right now. He apologized for posts about Israel Hamas fighting, and it stirred backlash. Believe it or not just his comments, but the apologies stirred backlash. Actor Mark Ruffalo apologized for posts about Israel Hamas fighting stirs backlash. Other celebrities have faced similar criticism for being vocal about where they stand on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So that's his apology here. I'm going to go down to what he said. It's unclear what post Ruffalo was apologizing for, but he suggested in a May 11th tweet that Israel's actions were comparable to apartheid in South Africa and that sanctions could similarly work against Israel. And here's some of his tweet. Not from me, this is him. 1,500 Palestinians face expulsion in Jerusalem. 200 protesters have been injured. 9 children have been killed, he wrote. So when he makes a statement like that, people who are pro-Palestine kind of rise up and they like him. Me personally, I'm staying out of that. I'm not taking anyone's side except for the side of peace and love. Because what we're seeing is organizations fighting and, in my opinion, people losing. So I'm on the side of the people and peace. But Ruffalo clearly was taking the Palestinian side initially. Here's his apology. I've reflected and wanted to apologize for posts during the recent Israel-Hamas fighting that suggested Israel is committing genocide. It's not accurate. It's inflammatory, disrespectful. It's being used to justify antisemitism here and abroad. Now is the time to avoid hyperbole. My thoughts on that are that apology doesn't sound authentic to me, because when he wrote the tweet, that sounded like that tweet came from a human being. You never know with these Twitter accounts who's tweeting what, but it sounded like a human being. This sounds like almost not lawyer speak, not like legal speak, but it sounds too crafted. It is possible that he used hyperbole and can still have his opinion on siding with Palestinians. That is possible. That's not the route he chose to take. So who knows? Maybe it was the most authentic apology ever. But let's go to John Cena. I'm going to go with John Cena, then I'm going to give my take. I'm going to talk about Shaquille O'Neal in this. So stay with me. How does Shaquille O'Neal fit in with this? Is he going to wrestle John Cena? No. So John Cena, so let's take a look at it. John Cena shows gutlessness and apology to China, critics say. Movie star and pro wrestler John Cena was taken to the mat by critics Tuesday for apologizing to China after he called Taiwan a country in an interview. Cena told Taiwanese media that Taiwan would be the first country to be able to see his new Fast and Furious film, F9, prompting backlash in China, which considers the self-ruled democratic island nation its own territory. The AP reported China often takes suggestions of Taiwan independence as an insult. In one interview, I made a mistake, he said in Mandarin. I'm going to play a little bit of this here. Hopefully you can hear it.
你好，中国，就是叫西纳。我必须说，现在在《速度与激情》中，我做很多采访，很多，所以在一个采访，我有一个错误，所有人问我，如果我可以用中文，速度与激情中人给我很多资讯 information，所以很多采访，很多 information。
So that's it. It's tough to watch for me. So this one is a more clear example of what I'm talking about. Mark Ruffalo, his net worth is about 35 million, I believe. His net worth is about 35 million. John Cena's net worth is about six, but he has that movie coming out, so he's got more than himself to think about. So I can respect it from that aspect because you know how things happen. They could stop the movie at all from showing anywhere. So his net worth is $60 million. There's a difference between wealth and independence. And in my opinion, both of those apologies, they didn't seem sincere from the heart. They almost sounded like hostage victims, and in a way they are, and in the way I am as well. That's what cancel culture, that's the power of cancel culture, or that's the power of having your job and wealth tied into the establishment. Wealth does not equal independence. And I tweeted the other day about that topic. It's a topic that I don't think people talk about a lot. I don't care if someone's net worth is 1,000 times mine. If they have to bend the knee to Chinese or American or any establishment, I do not look at them as more successful as me than me. They may have more money, but we're on the same level. Your money has not got you independence. And that is, to me, the ultimate goal. You'll hear a lot of YouTubers saying they want to get off of YouTube. One of my favorite YouTubers is this channel called TD Hip Hop Media. T as in Tom, D as in David, Hip Hop Media. I believe the young man's name is Tony. Great channel. And at the end of his channel, every time at the end of his channel, he says he gets people's email addresses. I get text alerts from him. And at the end of his channel, every day he says the goal is not to be big on YouTube, it's to be independent of YouTube. And that's just a small example of the goal. The goal is to be independent. If you are making your living off of YouTube, you're not independent. You look at Tim Pool, he's got his own website. He's trying to get off. Eric July. These guys, Mark Ruffalo, John Cena, are dependent on Hollywood. Hollywood is a part of the establishment. They are linked into maybe the Chinese establishment even more than our own. So you can't have an opinion that goes against that. I can't either. You could get canceled. That's not independent. So if I were them, if I had that much money, if I had a net worth, now I know net worth isn't 60 million in cash. That doesn't mean they have 60 million in cash in the bank, but they're worth enough. In my opinion, if I had that much money, I would live a humble life. I'd be living like I made 50 grand a year. Maybe I have a couple nice things, like a Model S. I'd live like I had 50 grand. I made 50,000 a year with a Model S Plaid, and I would be living somewhere off in the cut. I'd be out of the spotlight. I wouldn't be working in Hollywood. And if I want to make my statement, if I want to say Taiwan should be a country, then I'd say, damn it, because Taiwan should be a country. And if you don't like it, you can find some rocks to kick. That's independence. That's not I don't care about Taiwan, to be honest with you. I'm just giving an example. Because if I'm going to get canceled, I'm going to get canceled for something I truly believe. I don't care. I hate to say it. Trump always said it. I'm America first. We got too many problems. I just posted a video yesterday of gunshots firing out in the middle of broad daylight. Many media outlets didn't even cover it on the anniversary of George Floyd's murder. Unbelievable. I'm going to end on this. There are people who are independent, or they are tied with the establishment. They don't give a damn. Charles Barkley's one of them. Charles Barkley, it looks like Charles Barkley couldn't care less about his job. I'm going to take my opinion. Shaquille O'Neal's another one. Daryl Morey, that was a few years ago. It was 2019. Daryl Morey made a simple statement, a simple tweet about Hong Kong. Daryl Morey said something to the effect of Hong Kong, we stand with Hong Kong, which was a very dangerous tweet. The NBA is tied into China as much as anyone. So I'm just going to figure out if I can get that tweet. Very comfortable with Hong Kong tweet, despite backlash. So Maury tweeted a picture that read, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong." Again, I'm not the most knowledgeable. I would have to read up on it. I'm not taking any stance here. Again, I'm thinking about our country first, not Hong Kong. But Daryl Morey tweeted that picture out. LeBron James didn't like it. And then LeBron James came out and said Daryl Morey was misinformed before sending tweet about China and Hong Kong. I didn't want to get into a verbal feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand and he spoke. These guys have been doing nothing but fighting for social causes, even back then in 2019, whether it was Trayvon Martin, whether it was taking a knee. They were fighting for social issues. Daryl Morey has a social issue that he cared about. And because it hit the bottom line, because they got their deals, they do tours in China. These NBA players, they make a lot of money based on China. The whole NBA and like LeBron, they go over there, they do these tours. They love basketball over there. Because it hits the bottom line, LeBron said, "Whoa, don't do that." That's beyond hypocritical. That's intentionally, that's malice because you know your money comes from there. If you are standing up for social causes or you let people do that, then you have to let people do that. Shaquille O'Neal shows you what independence looks like. I'm going to end it on this. Daryl Morey, Shaq. And Shaq's like, I don't give a damn. Shaq speaks out on China's situation. Daryl Morey was right. One of our best values here in America is free speech. We're allowed to say what we want to say, and we're allowed to speak out on injustices, and that's just how it goes. And if people don't understand that, that's something they have to deal with. He didn't care about his TNT contract. You know why? He has a lot of money. He doesn't need them. Shaq has independence. He can stand up and say what I want to say. Kwame Brown, that dude's feeling independent right now. He's out here taking people down, not just with name calling, on their fundamental existence, their profession. I'm still going to do a video on that. So thanks a lot for listening. Let me know what you think. Is there something to it? I understand everyone has to make the decision for their own self because you can have a net worth of 60 million and be living check to check. Like I'm not paying your bill. So if you need to do that, if you need to conform so you don't get canceled, do it. But I'm going to get in my basement, get a camera, and say you're not independent at all. Take care.